So last time we left off, the group had just arrived in Helmfirth. The next stop, debatably either on their way to Yordhall or Thogladar. Over the course of the kind of conclusion of the voyage, it seemed like you guys decided more toward Thogladar. And so Trogdor had to say his goodbyes to Malaris. Those who weren't having a final romp in the hay, so to speak, had two vastly different establishments to choose from when it comes to lodging for the evening. So the party is currently split between the Baron's Horse, a rather upscale establishment that the elven proprietors have been proud to tell you multiple times has been in their
It
family
was a
for 5
respectable
generations.
establishment.
Yes. And the Baron Whore, which is none of those things.
And that's why
It's
I like
still
it.
better.
You ain't gonna get your cock sucked in the Baron's horse. So, I mean, what?
So anyway, we left off with everybody having just retired to their rooms for the evening. The night goes smoothly. Nothing crazy happens, and so you all wake up the next morning with the benefits of a full, long rest. So any missing HP or spells or anything of that sort, you get back. Make sure you replenish your hit dice if you're missing any. And what are you doing?
Leveling up. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna go down and start drinking.
Start what?
Oh, start drinking.
Okay.
Just wait for everybody
Seems
to
like
show
the thing
up.
to do.
I assume that I'm probably waking up at the same time, so I will join him.
All right. So yes, you make your way downstairs from the very thin-walled rooms that you had rented for the evening, stepping over puddles of vomit and unconscious individuals just sort of collapsed in heaps on the floor.
Man, I missed a party.
This is basically my living room yesterday.
As you enter the bar proper, you see more of the same. A few other mysterious puddles here and there. And there are maybe a handful of patrons that are actually conscious, most of them holding their heads or already nursing very large glasses of water. And so you find a place that is neither occupied nor wet and commence your imbibing for the day.
Indeed.
All right. So let's see. What's Maya doing?
What's her name awake?
Tormilla?
Yeah.
Probably not as early as you.
Okay. Well, does my room have a patio or a balcony or something? I forgot which floor I'm on.
Of course.
Okay, I want to go out there and do stretches, warm-ups, meditation kind of thing.
Okay. And while that's going on, what's Trogdor doing?
Guess I'm gonna get up and put on all my armor and whatnot. I guess I'm just gonna say my farewells to Malaris. Head off to town. Am I aware of their location?
You should be. Well, know that we're in one of the two places.
Yeah, I said meet back there at 9.
That's what she suggested, so.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll head in that direction then.
Okay.
Where are we meeting at 9?
From what I recall, it was like in the street, kind of between the two inns.
Okay.
So yeah, after probably an hour or so of Maya being the only one awake, you do hear movement inside as Tormilla kind of uh, rolls off the cushions that she was sleeping on onto the floor, and it's well, she always looks like she just got out of bed with her current look, so not too much difference. She's visibly just kind of stopped attempting to wrangle her messy, knotted, naturally partially dreadlocked hair, and just sort of dons a fresh set of clothes for the day, and seems just about ready to go. Um, so, is there anything that anyone would like to do before meeting up with the group?
Drink.
Drink.
Noted.
I'm gonna get some eggs too.
Okay. So yeah, you order breakfast, and after a few minutes, the eggs come out, kind of still like just barely cooked enough. Still a little bit on the slimy side, almost.
Just how Mom used to make. Wow. Just eat them.
All right. And so yeah, after eating / drinking your breakfast, the group reassembles out in the street of like the main street of Helmfirth, between the two inns. And what's the plan?
Well, how do we get out of here? Like, out of the city? Like, is there a way out of the city that's leading us? Like, is there a road, essentially a road to Thogladar from here? Or at least in that general direction?
Yeah, so while you're not intimately familiar with the interior of Helmfirth, you know that you essentially need to head east
Yes.
to return to Thogladar. And so it's easy enough to kind of follow the main road and eventually locate the like inland gate, if that's what you'd like to do.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, any objections from the party? I suppose I should ask.
Nope.
No, I'm just going with everyone else.
I don't know if I, just thinking about it, I don't know if I did my poison, the jug of poison. I don't know if I did that yet for yesterday. But I would like to do it for, at least for today. I don't know if I did it yesterday.
I think I remember having the conversation about it for yesterday.
Okay.
Should be good.
So I will do it for today then.
Yep.
And fill my vial. I have a 6/8 poison vial.
Okay. So yeah, you depart from the crossroads at which the two inns are situated, making your way through the rather elegant, if a bit dated, architecture of Helmfirth. You pass by a number of merchant stalls that are kind of just opening for business. You see a number of the stalls being sort of unfolded and set up for the day. You pass by what looks to be a temple And actually, go ahead and everybody make a religion check real quick.
The duck emperor.
Ooh.
You would have a last name.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, everyone except Maya, who is probably just still wrapped up in absorbing all the architectural aspects of Home Firth. Everyone else recognizes this as a temple of Aspra, the goddess of the sea that many people in Perrin are prone to worshiping as well. And outside, you see a number of look to be commoners, kind of just in prayer, whether on their knees or seated in a number of like outdoor situated pews.
You said it was Osprey, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have a spelling of that. I already have it, so I'm good.
All right. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Trogdor doesn't exist anymore, so I can't do automated things.
Wait, what?
What?
How do I not exist?
You did.
That's because your name's different.
Oh, rip.
Do I not exist either?
You exist.
Yeah, you're just not using the correct name. You're using like your actual name. Joke's on you. You can whisper to both.
So anyway, as you're walking, and for the purpose of narrative here, we'll just say that Blackbriar is kind of maintaining a silent, bringing up the rear situation for the time being. Bungdo, you overhear what sounds like, well, at first it sounds like miserable sobbing and moaning from an older lady who you see in the embrace of someone else in front of the temple. But as you kind of listen in a little more, you actually hear her kind of choking out through tears. Praise Osprum! The Lady of the Sea provides once more as she always has. Thank you, milady. I'll not waste a second chance.
Indeed.
Indeed. You can choose to ignore that, or you can just keep going.
I'm with everyone else, though, right?
Yeah, you're in the group. You're all just kind of making your way through town. Just Bungdo happens to be the only one who hears this.
Okay. Well, I just kind of split off from the group and walk up to her. Oi! What are you crying about?
Right, and yeah, you see this quite elderly woman, probably mid to late 80s, human, and she's just sort of breaking from the embrace of used to be a middle-aged, again human female, but she's she wipes away the tears and says, "My prayers have been answered. As simple as that. And well, what more can I say?
Well, what did you pray for?
The return of my beloved granddaughter."
How old is she?
She thinks, and it seems the memory is vaguely eluding her, but she's like, I think she's 26 this year.
Indeed.
But she has been returned to us from well, from the sea. We had all but given up hope. of ever seeing her again, but, well, the Lady of the Sea saw fit to bless us with her return, and she just kind of visibly starts to break down and cry again,
At this point, I want to
smiling.
I walk up behind Bungdo and say,
Okay.
what was her name?
And again, she's just. Her name is Evie.
Oh, well, have we got a story for you?
She looks quite confused at this, but
I gesture towards Maya and say, if it wasn't for her, Evie would not have been rescued.
At hearing my name, I kind of look in that direction because I was so absorbed in architecture.
Well, I didn't actually say, I just kind of gestured towards you.
Oh, well,
But you're
I
the
am-
only her around. So.
Except, the two women in front of you, so I'm probably still distracted.
Oh, fair enough. But, yeah.
So yeah, Maya's just kind of continuing on down the street, like marveling at all the the strange sights.
Maya! Over here.
I look back at you,
Come here.
and I kind of lightly jog back.
Maya, this is Evie's grandmother?
She nods, still kind of like sniffling a little bit.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you.
She again kind of wipes some tears away. And says, is it true that you're the reason that my Evie has been brought back safely to land?
Well, I saw her floating in the river, floating in the ocean, so managed to get people to pull her up.
Blessings of Osprey upon you. She, reaches out and kind of just, the side face thing. Just kind of puts her hand on your cheek. And, yeah, just kind of says that little blessing over you and quickly kind of recoils back and says her sort of, I guess, just inward thankful mannerism.
We're actually on our way out of town. But by chance, is Evie still around?
Well, I only just heard the news, as you may be able to tell, but I believe she's at her mother's house. I could show you the way if you'd like to say your goodbyes or anything. I'm sure you'd be most welcome.
I look at the rest of the group. Anybody have any objections? I kind of want to go and see if she, see if either she remembers anything else or maybe she knows where Rayford is. Maybe he can remember. Maybe he remembers something.
I'm fine with whatever.
Just before we leave, while we're here.
Sure.
And I kind of rub my arm as thinking about that stupid thing that attacked me.
Okay.
So yes, we would love to say goodbye to Evie before we leave.
All right. And so she kind of says her goodbyes to the woman who seemingly brought her the news, and kind of gestures for you to follow her down one of the kind of side streets that branch off of this main thoroughfare of Helmfirth.
Is she walking like an old lady? Or is
Yeah, she's got this kind of gnarled old cane that she uses, and it seems she really puts a lot of weight on it. She's kind of got the Yoda walk going on a little bit.
But she seems like she's getting around okay.
Yeah, it's a gradual process, but she doesn't seem weak so much as just moving a bit slowly.
Okay. I was gonna say I'll help her, but she's good, and she's good.
Yeah. All right. And yeah, as you're making your way down the road, she just continues on about what how Osprey worked through you, and you've, whether you know it or not, you're agents of the Almighty here in Astian, and just singing your praises the whole way, basically. Clearly quite moved, quite grateful for the opportunity she's been afforded to see her granddaughter again. But yeah, after probably 20 minutes of walking, um, you find yourselves in, well, by no means a poor district, at least one that's not as opulent as the sort of downtown area that you had found yourselves in a few moments before. Um, Certainly not down to the level of the Baron Whore, but certainly not up to the standards of the Baron's horse either. She leads you into a like this kind of narrowish hallway that you see has a few different doors kind of branching off into what look like apartment style residences. And she kind of makes her way toward the middle of the hallway and knocks on one of the doors. It kind of squeaks and rattles on its hinges, even at the knock of this seemingly frail old woman. And it takes a moment, but there's eventually a response on the other side, and she um, kind of announces herself and says that she has some guests as well. And at this point, you do hear that her name is Sathrin.
Sathrin, you said?
Yeah.
Can you
If
spell?
anyone's curious about Granny's name.
Can you spell that for me? Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so after that, there's a few kind of squeaks and clicks of locks being undone before the door kind of swings open, and you see looks to be a middle-aged man, working class. He's just looks pretty average. Got kind of the buzz cut thing going on, visibly worn, kind of worked in clothing. And says, yes, welcome, please come in." And he gives Sathrin a hug as she enters, and sort of beckons the party to follow in behind her. And kind of quietly closing the door behind you, you find yourselves in essentially the medieval equivalent of a small apartment. It's more like, there's a large kind of living, sitting, dining, kitchen area, and then just a few what look to be small rooms off to kind of the corners of the building.
So kind of like your mom's, a little bit? Only a little bit?
Kind of. Probably even more simplistic than that.
Okay.
Yeah, but generally speaking, it's not too far off.
Okay.
But yeah, kind of sitting at this like the kitchen table, effectively. You see the familiar form of Evie, as well as middle-aged human female with similar like brownish hair and a few freckles kind of spotting her face. you can certainly see a family resemblance, and it would make sense that probably Evie's mother.
All right. Well, I'll walk in and say, Evie, good to see that you're doing well, and you know, especially with all the craziness that happened after we found you.
She's kind of between large bites of her breakfast at this point, but as she sees you, she kind of like hurries up and finishes the bite that she's on and puts the utensils down and says, "Oh yes, yes, thank you so much for rescuing us. Again, when we got into port, I had meant to stop and thank you one last time, but well, I'm glad you were able to find me, and I can give my thanks one more time. But yes, thank you so much."
Oh, it was all Maya. She was the one who saw you originally.
Well, we got you up, and I'm happy that you're safe and you're doing well.
By the way, do you happen to know where Rayford or Alma went?
She pauses for a moment and says, "I'm not entirely sure. Um, I mean, I knew where I could find my family, and well, you know, uh, after such an event, kind of seemed like the best place for me to go."
Okay. Well, we just wanted to stop by and make sure we had found your lovely grandmother, and so we.
And yeah, at this point, you could see that Sathrin's just been kind of like beaming in the corner, but she can't really contain it anymore. She just kind of canes her way over to the table and just gives Evie a big hug, like almost kind of around the shoulders as she's sitting, so Evie can just kind of like, maybe put a hand up on her shoulder to kind of attempt to return it, but she's just kind of wrapped up.
Would you say she's grappled? I'm kidding.
Pretty close.
And it's good to see that you were able to come home to your grandmother and what I would guess father, and she's much too young to be your mother. Sister, perhaps?
She the presumed mother kind of just smiles and giggles a little bit. So, yes, I'm her mother. There's no need there's no need for your flattery.
But well, it's good to good to know that we were able to get you home. And if if you do happen to hear anything from either Malaris, who the captain of the ship, or anything like that, well, you plan on staying around Helmfirth, right?
She just nods.
If you do happen to hear just any word of Malaris coming to, coming into town again, just, I guess, make sure she's doing well, and I kind of glance over at Trogdor and say, we may be back to check in on her eventually. But, as for now, we're on our way out towards Thogladar.
She says, "Oh, off on travels again so soon, eh? Well, be safe."
As should you. And I kind of bow and kind of just kind of take a step back. And if anybody else wants to say anything, I kind of like gesture to let anybody else say whatever.
I don't have anything to say.
No. Oh, Evie. Actually, I'll step back up. Evie, by the way, I know you said you were working in the kitchen of that ship, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
What exactly was that ship doing? Was it a passenger ship?
She goes on to kind of explain that it was basically a freight ship, but there were a select few passengers kind of booked on it, more like business travel kind of folks. And
Okay.
she was essentially responsible for like keeping them all fed and maintaining the rooms and such.
And you weren't aware of anything strange going on, such as possibly the captain coming by to check and make sure everybody's accounted for, or anything like that, right?
And she kind of pauses and says, "Oh, you mean like Captain Malaris did just a day or two before we came into port?"
Exactly.
No, there wasn't anything like that on my last voyage. No.
Okay. No strange happenings or anything?
Not that I know of.
Okay. And I will give her, like, essentially a Cliff Notes version of what happened with Tentacle Monster.
Okay. This is clearly quite a disturbing tale to Evie.
Well, and I'll just say, yeah, and it was under the guise of Alma, so that was strange to say the least.
Yeah, she just kind of seems taken aback by the whole story. It's certainly some pretty crazy stuff.
So
Let's see. Bungdo and Togar. You notice that she seems visibly uncomfortable at this conversation.
Inside check.
That's what you just did.
yes, that was uncomfortable. Like she's not telling us everything, or is it just uncomfortable about where she like? I guess is she looking nervously at her family? Or is she just looking uncomfortable in general?
I would say, as you're kind of broaching this general subject matter, she just seems uneasy, almost defensive.
I look back at Termilla. Hey, Termilla, as a priestess, do you happen to have access to lesser restoration?
She she seems kind of surprised by the sudden change in line of questioning, but she says, "Well, yes. Do you need help of some? You look healthy."
I'm just concerned that this creature obviously knew how to use magic. I'm just kind of concerned that it may have done something to, and I'll kind of gesture towards Evie. Done something to Evie, be it blocked her memory or something. It's just, I don't know, something about, about the whole creature kind of makes me a little uneasy. So I just figured I'd see if if you have the spell available, if you could potentially use it on her, just to make sure that that everything is okay with her, because she did just survive an ordeal as well.
All right, and yeah, after hearing your explanation, Tormilla kind of just nods and sort of looks over to Evie for some sort of like approval or consent or something. And again, Evie looks sort of taken aback at the whole thing, but she kind of speechlessly just like shrugs, like, sure, I don't, sure. And so Tormilla, approaches, and you see this kind of almost fiery glow begin to emanate from her palms, and she just sort of, lays her hands on Evie, and there's this brief glow that kind of just carries over from her hands and kind of radiates from Evie's entire body, and there she is, still human, not really looking like she's undergone any sort of change or anything.
Nothing. I'll look at her and say, "How do you feel?" And I would like to, with that, I would like to insight check her again, depending on her answer, obviously.
Okay. She says, I feel fine. I don't feel any different.
Is she telling the truth?
Yeah, she doesn't seem like she feels any different, or that seems legit.
Is she still defensive?
I mean, it just seems like the entire kind of line of discussion of the whole tentacle monster thing has been kind of perturbing to her. But yeah, she I mean, she doesn't seem like, how would I put it? She doesn't seem like she's getting ready for a throwdown or anything. She's
No.
just
Yeah.
Generally kind of nervous.
Oh. Okay. Well, after that, I'll just look at her and say, "Well, if anything strange starts happening around here, unfortunately we were unable to apprehend the thing. It escaped through Alma's bedroom, actually. But if anything strange is going on, just stay safe."
You too.
And I guess I will take my leave.
Okay.
I just kind of follow him out.
I nod and smile at her and leave.
Okay.
Like smile kind of like encouragingly.
As soon
Alright.
as we get out and shut the door, I look to everybody and say, "Well, she seemed like she was nervous when I mentioned the tentacle monster."
I mean, she just went through a lot. Wouldn't you be nervous if someone then said that you might be a that a tentacle monster might have, messed with you when you were asleep or something?
It
all
kind of
bunk
did
your
mess
dreams
with me
about.
while I was asleep. And no, not really. I just wanted to punch it in the face.
But she didn't know. What if you were told afterwards?
I'd still want to punch it in the face.
But do scullery maids generally want to punch things in the face?
I don't even know what you just said. So I'm going to go with no. Fair enough. Okay, I was getting a bit of a nervous vibe from her, that was all. But it's good to see that she's home safe. And I turn to Tormilla and say, "Thank you very much for doing that. I just wanted to make sure everything was as it seemed with her."
Yeah, she just says, well, of course. Clearly the three of them have all been through a great deal. As they disclosed a bit to me on the ship. Clearly, I only heard as much as each of them really knew, but, well, Alma did share a bit about that night, and, well, on her behalf, thank you for everything you did. And keeping her safe. That was quite a traumatic experience to just simply add to yet another one. But yes, I think with some time at home, they should all be back to normal. I would hope.
Did Rayford tell you anything? That was the
She
man.
yeah, she kind of thinks for a moment and says he didn't really seem to remember much of anything. I know Evie was discussing her time working on the vessel, and Alma had um, and she was part of some wealthy family or something. She was a passenger, from what I gathered. But no, Rayford didn't seem to really remember much of anything.
And that seemed kind of weird as well. But I checked him out myself. I didn't see anything. Well, unfortunately, I guess the mystery won't be solved.
He did suffer a pretty serious bump on the head as well. I mean, me with my modest medical training, he certainly seemed to have gotten the worst of it. So the amnesia is not entirely unheard of for something um, of that nature.
Okay. Um, do you have anything that you need to do while you're in town here, or?
The only business I have is back home, but I will be happy to help you with anything you see fit to do uh, on the way.
Okay. Um, and I guess with that being said, I guess I'll head back towards the east exit again.
Okay. So yeah, you return to the kind of main road that goes through Helmfirth, and once again you kind of round the corner, passing by the temple and um, through kind of a small congregation of assorted food carts and things of that nature. Um, Eventually, kind of making your way to the outskirts of Helmfirth and to the uh, large gray stone walls that kind of hem it in, at least on the inland borders. Um, the gates stand open, and so you're able to just stroll right on out and onto the eastbound road that cuts deeper into the continent of Okiria and, to your knowledge, toward Caimore.
Oh, yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I just pulled up a map.
Okay.
Now, are there little villages along the way?
Yeah, there are like a few kind of small settlements that kind of dot the entire kingdom.
Okay.
Some of them maybe not much more than like an inn and a couple farms and a couple private residences, but yeah, I mean, just as even when you were kind of walking around the general vicinity of Perrin, you kind of stumbled across an inn. Um, yeah, there are definitely pockets of civilization other than the notable ones kind of marked out on the map.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'm gonna just walk until something happens.
Okay. Um,
Maybe make
yeah.
small talk to Termilla, just about moor
How
it
much
in
free
and.
time do we have?
What was that, Brown?
How much free time do we have?
Um, Well, let's see. You're probably leaving town, somewhere around 10:30 maybe. So, I mean, you can get a full 8 hours travel time in, during which, you could have gnomish lessons or whatever you would like to do to pass the time.
I'd say in character, as a group, we can stop for a few minutes.
For what?
I want to bring out my steed again.
I look at him. Is there enough for all of us?
I don't know. I can summon up to something that's large in size. I don't know how much to carry.
Probably like you, because you're pretty. You're borderline large, if I remember. You're pretty big.
Both the gnomes.
He's a beefy boy.
Yeah, I guess you could carry both the gnomes, but I'm short too. I'm slow. Tell you what, you can summon it and let. Well, if it's large, yeah, you can bring it up and let me, Termilla, Blackbriar, and Bungdo ride on it because we're slowing the group up.
I'm not sure it could handle that much weight.
They each weigh like 20 pounds or 40 pounds or something, so it'd be like about almost what Trogdor weighs with all of us.
With my armor, I'm like 5.
Yeah, we weigh
much
less
do
than
you weigh?
Trogdor. I'm 150.
No, Trogdor.
500.
With my gear and everything, I'm like 500.
Oh, wow.
But a
about
large
your
creature
guys'
can carry that.
I would say for the purposes of something like this, you might be able to get away with putting 2 people on a mount.
I mean, because you also have, like, room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I thought he had like a dragon type thing, like a flightless dragon.
Yeah, that one I wanted to be like those.
Hang people off the side.
Well, no, I figured like it was gonna be, pretty big. We could fit. You can fit 3 kids on a horse.
But do you then have that horse walk for 8 hours?
If it's magical, sure.
I would say for this, you could probably put 2 people on for an 8-hour ride.
2 like normal sized people, like human size, or like them like small.
Um,
Me and Termilla are not small. We're considered medium.
yeah, like technically most dwarves are similar in weight to humans. They're just shorter and broader.
Denser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a buff midget.
So, yeah, I mean, if you want to put the 2 gnomes on, you can certainly do that. I mean, I would say you could probably even get away with 2 medium creatures if you wanted to go that way. Probably not Trogdor being one of them.
Yeah. Like,
So,
weigh about 200.
I look over at Bungdo. Can you become a horse?
Well, I suppose I could.
Well, I mean, in an
Pretty sure I can.
in an effort to go faster, we could put a couple on them, and then the rest of us slower people on you, and
I could always turn into a rhinoceros.
Do it. My eyes light up. Do it.
I turn into a rhinoceros.
I gleefully jump on his back.
My eyes widen. I have no idea what's happened.
I produce my Santa hat and just start I just kind of grab a scuff of skin and like a rodeo, like a dude riding a bucking bronco. I'm like swinging my hat around, one-handed, just yeehaw, just having a blast, sitting on the back of a giant armored beast.
So I'm thinking that as a yes, I have time to summon this thing. It takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take a break for 10 minutes and do it.
Bungdo finds a mud puddle and rolls around in it.
I try to stay on his back the entire time.
Rhino rodeo going on?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Togar, go ahead and make. Let's call that an athletics check.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So yeah, somehow you managed to, through a combination of tight grip and almost like
I
log running,
I
like
think
the
it should be
Yes.
animal
thing
handling.
where you have to kind of just stay on the top, even though it's just
Yes.
rolling everywhere.
Yeah, that's how I imagine it too. Like as he rolls over, I like kind of hop up and like my legs are just scurrying as he's rolling around, and I'm just trying to stay on top of him and
Yeah.
not get thrown in the mud.
Yeah, and you just barely managed to make that happen.
Good. I'll just entertain everybody for a couple minutes it takes him to do his thing.
Okay. All right, and so at the end of the 10 minutes, what color miniature Drake would Trogdor like to summon?
That'd be platinum.
For flavor, I'd say you could do that. Sure.
All right.
It's a what, divine or celestial thing, so it's probably, yeah, you could do that. So yes, you have essentially a miniature Drake at your disposal. It's just kind of you see this you see a cloud kind of beginning to blow and swirl in the sky, and eventually it kind of just maneuvers its way down, just as though the strong gust of wind has just caught it and is directing it towards you. And just as the thing is about to sort of envelop the group, you see it coalesce into this platinum dragon-ish thing that then sort of just you hear the two back claws just kind of into the dirt of the road, and this cloud of dust is kind of kicked up, and you see as it settles, this creature just sort of standing, looking at Trogdor as though for some sort of direction.
We've seen this before, right? Like this.
You
was
have.
That was a thing he put on the ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still awesome, regardless.
I will jump off of Bungdo and walk over to it and just kind of like reach out and to touch it, because I don't remember. What is it? Was it metallic, like feeling, or was it just like a lizard with shiny scales?
More the second one.
Okay. It's warm though, so I'll put my hands on it to warm my hands up. My hands are cold.
Ass warmers. I guess whoever wants to climb on, get on.
Mundo tries to climb up. There's a rhinoceros.
Is this a thing?
No.
My thing actually has hit points.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna look at Blackbriar and say, Blackbriar, I'll tell you what. Tormilla and I will take this, and you can have this glorious armored beast all to yourself. And I point at Bungdo. As it's like dripping with mud.
Okay, go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Yep.
All right. So, upon listening to your proposal, he just kind of turns his nose up and says, "You expect the Prince of Princes to ride that smelly, sloppy beast? I think not."
I trot over next to him and then just like shake off the mud.
Just think of like a wet dog shaking, mud going everywhere.
While this is going on, I nudge Tormilla. You don't mind riding on Bungdo, do you?
So, series of things going on. First of all, Blackbriar manages to at least evade most of the mud, but yeah, afterwards he just kind of looks over and gives a familiar gnomish stink eye.
So just because Bungdo is Bungdo, I think that the Rhino also has a slightly larger eye on one side and gives him the stink eye.
Never mind that the eyes are on the sides of each side of your head.
This may be true.
You can certainly try.
But yeah, as far as your question of Tormilla, she just says, "No, any help is greatly appreciated. I'm not picky."
Okay, and I'll kind of shrug and just kind of lean over and say, you don't really have to be so nice. We're thick-skinned here, so you don't have to be. But okay, and I will walk over and like kind of get ready to like essentially have her step in my hand, and I'm gonna boost her up on top of Bungo.
Okay, yeah, she'd probably need it. Okay. So yeah, you manage to boost Tormilla up, and she kind of sits astride the big, messy rhino. Um, at which point she reaches a hand down to kind of help pull you up.
I will accept it.
Okay. I'd say you're able to climb up with no real issues, and so Blackbriar, just kind of being Blackbriar, walks over. Not really even a word to Trogdor. He just kind of starts trying to find a way to climb up on this dragon. He exudes this air of confidence, but the competence part, you're not so sure about. He's like the dragon even seems a bit hesitant about the whole thing and kind of looks over to Trogdor like, should I?
Tell to get down, and I say it in Celestial because that's the language I wanted to know.
Do you know Celestial?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Cool.
But you said what to him, Brown?
Just the dragon to get lower to the ground.
Oh, okay, and like let him up.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the dragon kind of lowers itself down, and Blackbriar, looking quite proud of himself as though he's just tamed this ferocious beast, kind of grabs hold of a couple of the scales and sort of like swings and pulls himself up.
All this time I'm just sitting on Bungdo laughing at him. Just, not rolling off the back of him, but just kind of chuckling.
How fast do rhinos move?
Hopefully faster than 30, or at least 30.
40.
Oh, cool.
Trogdor, can you get up on your mount too?
Is it just Blackbriar that's on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could
Everyone
probably
else.
put him on your back and then have room for another person too.
He's a gnome.
I mean, I don't need to be on there, so.
Oh, that's right. You're
I
faster,
just
aren't you?
figure we can all travel at 40.
Yeah. I'm okay with this.
I will attempt to gingerly get on to Dragon's back without breaking it.
You could always put something in the bag of holding.
Yeah, there's always that. You could, do naked dragon rodeo or something. But either way, it seems like a pretty tough beast. It can probably handle you and the extra couple pounds that Blackbriar weighs.
Yeah, it's like having a bread basket with you. At this point, I look over at Trogdor. Want to race? I'm
When he
just
says
joking.
that, I just kind of like rub my feet in the sand, make a little bit of dust.
I look at Termilla. Hold on. And I grab a handful of rhino and hold on the best I can.
I know my steed can hold our weight, but would it be able to hold it while racing?
So this is the thing.
You could certainly try.
Medieval drag racing. Oh boy.
I'm gonna have to pass. I don't want to kill my.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll race you though.
I lean out and whisper to Bungdo, "Take off."
I just start sprinting.
And I just ride away, holding my Santa hat in one hand, holding on to like Bungdo's skin flap in the other, and just like leaning back, just laughing.
I'll
my
run
ass off.
after them, but keep pulling forward and then falling even with them and pulling forward and falling even with them.
Okay. So yeah, well, is anybody not like just full on taking off? Like, is Trogdor and his group kind of hanging back?
We'll follow, but not gonna be sprinting and potentially killing this dragon.
All right. So yeah, you watch as the rhino takes off, and you just hear as it's like kicking up this massive cloud of dust in its wake. Before long, you can't really even see it through just the sandstorm effectively that it's kicked up. And Maya kind of disappears into the cloud of sand as well. Visibly kind of keeping her distance from the rhino so as not to, inadvertently be crushed or anything like that. But
Just out of curiosity, being that I'm a rogue and I can dash using a bonus action, does that mean I can get?
No.
Oh.
unless you want to dash from the rhino.
Yeah,
I was
the
gonna
rhino
say,
is
yeah.
not a rogue.
No. I'm saying, if I were to jump off, could I go 50 feet or 50 feet in the same time he's doing 40?
So you're saying effectively you and the rhino moving at the same time, but would you be able to do your 25 plus 25 to end up 10 feet ahead?
Or I'm just saying, could I jump off and be able to keep pace with the rhino and Maya?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, yeah, at a certain point, like when Maya falls back, I'm gonna jump off and just take off, and being that I have dash, I can run 50 then, right?
Well, okay, but before we finalize that, though, let's clarify, because if everybody is like dead on sprinting, you kind of have to assume that you're effectively dashing.
Right, but I can use a bonus action for a dash, so I get an additional 25 in there.
Okay, how far can Maya move with the dash?
At a dash, 90. And he can do 75, right?
Yes.
So I can still beat
Damn.
by
Okay.
15.
Alright, I will not jump off. I consider it, and then I do all the math in my head and realize, no, that's stupid. Because that would mean Bungdo would be going 80.
Yes.
Right. I consider hopping off for a minute, and then I don't. And I just
Okay.
hold on.
I don't even need to full on dash to keep up with you.
No, you're just, like, jogging.
I am a beast. Actually, technically, I'm not. Because we
You're a
have
monster!
2 beasts in our party. So. But yeah.
At this point, I want to glance back and see... do I see Trogdor anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, I would say they're probably keeping a distance to be sure, but you can still see the dragon and the 2 riders.
We might want to slow down and let them catch up. I yell that to Bungdo and Maya.
I'll slow down.
Bungdo just kind of like stops on a dime and just slides for however far.
I go flying over the top as I was like looking behind and not really paying attention. I just go flying and fly probably about 10 feet more or 15 feet more and just kind of boom, boom, and just kind of tumble.
Okay. In the meantime, you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm okay with this. Okay. I get up and I'm just covered in dust from the road.
Yep.
Just wipe my face off. Ugh. I didn't know you could stop so fast, Bungdo.
I assume that's what mine was like.
Alright. Well, and I kind of dust the rest of myself off and kind of walk over to the side and look up at Bungdo.
At this point, too, you notice that Tormilla is, like, barely hanging on to the rhino, like, by the horn.
Alright, I will walk over and help her down from Bungdo.
Alright.
And say, sorry about that, that's... I didn't expect him to stop so fast.
Oh, it's no problem. I've survived worse.
I just wish my own teammates didn't do more damage to me than that stupid tentacle monster. I just kind of chuckle and pat Bungdo on like the shoulder. I guess I'll help her back up and climb back up behind her.
Okay. And yeah, at this point, I would say that the group is kind of condensed down once more, and you're all kind of traveling together.
And so we'll walk at my leisurely pace, and should we do some gnomish learning?
Sure.
Yay!
Do what?
Gnomish learning.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, sure. I will teach you guys Gnomish.
It's the point of the show where we all learn Gnomish.
I think you have Wild Shape for what? 4 hours?
A while.
And he gets 2 uses of it every short rest. So.
Oh, do you? Okay. I just didn't know. I knew it would run out before 8 hours, but I wasn't sure how much before. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
No problem. Okay. So
but
yeah.
does Bungdo realize when it ends, or do you just suddenly all fall in a heap?
I would say we probably all fall in a heap. Whether he knows it or not, we would just all fall in a heap.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Bungdo.
accurate.
Okay, so yeah, just verifying.
And for the second time that day, I eat a big face full of dust.
But you don't take falling damage.
Oh, I probably will. I'm full on
Get
expecting
falling
it.
damage if you fall more than 10 feet.
Okay, so actually, you can stay in beast shape for a number of hours to half your druid level, rounded down.
Okay, so 3 hours.
Okay. So yes, 3 hours into your rhino romp, suddenly you are riding a gnome. At which point, yeah, you all just kind of like thump, 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 thump down to the dusty road, and yeah. Would Bungdo like to wild shape again?
Absolutely. But this time, actually, let me find my list. You know what? Now we're going to do Rhino again.
Okay.
At least for today.
Okay.
I get
So,
up,
yeah.
wipe my face off, stink eye bungdo, and then I'll climb back on.
All right. And so yes, unless you have any reason you'd like to stop, you guys are able to proceed down the road for a solid 6 hours before the second wild shape runs out. At which point you're looking at, it's probably 4:30 ish. Certainly still feel up to traveling a bit more, although you would have to do it. Um, well, most of you would have to do it on foot.
How far away is the place we're going?
Like your end goal, Thogladar,
Yeah.
like several days walk, because you're probably still a couple days out of Caimore,
Mm-hmm.
and from there it's probably another 3 to 4 days walk to Thogladar.
Okay. I mean, we could always take a short rest and ride faster again. That will probably make it moot, but
Yeah, we'd be going late. Is there... So, you said there's, like, little villages. Is there one... Like, do we know of one coming up at all? Or is it just walking down a road with forest on each side?
Let's see. I would say Togar, go ahead and make a history check. Yeah, probably about an hour from where you are. You know that they're, at least last time you were through here, they're small, kind of farmers settlement kind of thing.
Hey guys,
Just
about
like
an hour down the road, there's a settlement. Maybe we should just walk the rest of the way.
spend the night there.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Sorry, Eric, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I mean, you got the message. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So you continue on for the last hour or so, and before too long, you come to, um, probably not even big enough to qualify as a village, so to speak. More like a handful of structures kind of standing. You see looks to be a kind of ramshackle barn off to one side of the road, and um, looks like a pair of small residences, as well as looks to be an inn and kind of a general trader kind of establishment across the way from the farms and other residence type buildings. And you see, kind of as you're approaching, the massive stretches of field that have been, uh, populated with all sorts of different crops, or really they're growing at what look to be, or they're growing to what look to be almost excessive size. You've got crops like your wheat and corn and such that even Trogdor at his massive height, if he steps down from riding the dragon, he can barely see over the top of it.
That's some
And
big plants.
yeah, and especially as far along as kind of estimate you are in the season, these things are going to get even bigger.
My eyes go huge because I've never really seen, this kind of stuff grown for food. I'm just like, this is how big these get?
They're huge!
Thank you, Donald.
Um, Did you openly ask if these are how big they are?
That's exactly what I said. Word
Sorry,
for
my
word.
headset cut out. I look at her
Yeah.
and say, no, these are unseasonably large. Especially for how, like, early in the season they are. They're just going to get bigger.
Why are they this big?
I don't know. I would assume to feed more people.
I mean, but if they're normally not this big, how did they get this big?
Well, we could go ask the farmer. You know what? I'm kind of curious. Let's go ask the farmer.
We'll need to talk to him anyways, so.
Okay.
Or wait. Oh, he might not run the inn. Someone else might.
I don't care. I'll go talk to him anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so what building are you making your way up to then?
Farmhouse?
Yeah,
The
I guess I'm
farmhouse?
gonna head towards the farmhouse.
Okay,
We've
so
got a
there
few
are,
more hours, like another hour or so of daylight travel.
yeah, there look to be a couple different residences kind of spread out over the stretches of um, planted field. So there's probably two or three you can choose from. I would say you probably just go for the closest one, right?
Probably.
The biggest looking one.
Okay.
You know, the one that looks like it is the owner's.
Okay. Um, cool. So you make your way up, and yeah, throughout the entire approach, I mean, there's kind of a path that's visibly kind of left unplanted and sort of packed down for travel purposes. But even all around you, just as you're making your way toward the house, you're kind of um, almost like swallowed up by this massive field of massive crops. Um, but yeah, you make your way to the what appears to be the most prominent farmhouse. And yeah, approaching, you see more just kind of beat down like dirt path. Effectively like a parking area for the various carts that you can now see are either in use or the tracks of which have kind of run off into the field elsewhere. Um, you see a small well off to one side of the kind of clearing that the house is, and a pair of what look like pretty large like draft horses are kind of tied off at one end of the house. You make your way up to the house itself, and a pretty humble dwelling. I mean, as far as a farmhouse goes, it's really not bad. Thatch roof, kind of combination of wood and stone construction. You can see kind of some dim candlelight flickering inside. And it's really not even getting to the point of dusk yet. So you just make your way up, and you're gonna like knock on the door.
Yeah, I mean, unless I see somebody like out tending to the carts or something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see anyone immediately present.
All right. Yeah, I'll go knock on the door.
Okay. So yeah, you give it a few solid knocks, and
I'm right behind him.
okay.
My back up just a step, please. I wouldn't want to spin around and run right into you.
I moved to the side.
Thank you.
Sitting up on my dragon still.
I glanced at Trogdor. You might want to either have it sit down or something. I have a feeling a giant dragon might scare these people.
No worries.
I'm not worried about you.
Right around this point, the door kind of just cracks a little bit, and you see like this kind of old grizzled human man just kind of poke his head out, and first his eyes kind of just roll over the people up front. So you've got like Togar, Maya, and then he sees the dragon off behind you guys. He's, what the fuck is that?
It's harmless. Hello, sir. I'm Togar Hammerstriker, and I'll reach up my hand to try to shake his hand.
Cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Unconscious, apparently.
Sorry about that. No, what was the last thing that was heard?
Sir, I'm
Togar Hammerstriker, and I reach up to shake his hand.
He at this point is just fixated on the dragon. I mean,
okay.
There's a fucking dragon standing in front of his house.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Sorry, I said, oh, that. I said, it's harmless. Don't worry about it. It's just his steed. And then I did my introduction. Sorry, I cut that part out too.
Okay. Yeah, like still jaw practically on the floor. Upon hearing, that's his steed or whatever, he looks at the dragon and looks at Trogdor and kind of sticks his head a little bit further out the door, looks over at his horses and says, "One of those isn't good enough for you."
I kind of put my face in my palm and just say, "No, it definitely is not." He's a little excessive. What is good enough for me, however, is your giant crops. I am interested to try one. And that is actually what brought me to your door.
He, kind of focusing back in. He's, well, I mean, most of it's not really ready to be harvested yet, but I suppose I could. And he's kind of thinking, he's surrounded by this massive bounty of stuff that's really grown in quite yet. Well, I suppose I could give you some bread of the wheat we've prior, I guess.
That could work. I was also curious as to how you got them so large.
And he just says, well, we just work with nature and respect nature above all else. Just recognize that there's an order to things, and you respect the land that you live on, and it'll just pay back quite well in return. So,
is he lying out his fucking ass? That's a nat 20 insight check.
I mean, it certainly seems like there's probably more to it than being a tree hugger, but like, he's not lying. He's just.
I mean, but I can tell that there's no way that him just being nice to the plants is what's making that happen.
You gather it's probably a little more in depth than he's letting on, but you don't gather that he's really lying.
Okay.
He doesn't have some big secret he's holding.
Yeah, basically that's what I'm trying to
He's
gather.
a good farmer.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like he's, sacrificing people to get better crops or anything.
Or is he?
Outside a game, I think I know what it is. Maya would have no idea.
He's using nitrogen.
I'm curious. What do you think it is?
There's a druid spell that blesses crops. Makes people bountiful.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it might be a druid,
Huh.
but I don't know what the
Druid or
spell
ranger?
is.
I don't remember what it's called.
Well, wait, now Phil, being a druid, would you know would you know those spells? Or at least know of them?
I would probably be familiar with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something
Yeah,
that
I would
can...
say anything in that general kind of discipline. If Bungdo doesn't outright know it, he probably knows of it and is working toward mastering it.
Okay.
So, do druids have like any like secret handshake or like druid signs?
I mean, they have a
Yes.
language.
Yeah.
Do they have gang signs?
Wait, druids have their own language, kind of like rogues and thieves can't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Monks? No, not monks. Something else does, too. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I talked to him in the secret druid language.
You speak Druid
And what
to
did
him.
you say?
Flowers, butterflies, tree.
What did you say, Eric? I couldn't hear you.
It says, what do you say to him?
Are you a druid? Flim flam flooba flap.
It comes out in a very gnomish sounding dialect of Druidic, but and he kind of raises an eyebrow, not having noticed Bungdo up until this point, and kind of gives a quick little nod of acknowledgement.
Bungdo, it's not polite to insult the man. I
I'm
heard
sorry.
I heard something somewhat gnomish, so I assumed you just insulted him.
Well, I mean, it wasn't gnomish. It's
Well,
just,
no, but it had like he said it was like a gnomish dialect. So I heard something, you know, just
Yeah, effectively, it was something that you didn't understand in kind of a gnomish inflection.
yes, and so I assumed he had just like insulted the man. Completely reading the whole situation wrong.
And yeah, the old man just kind of puts up a hand. Says, "Oh, no, he's fine."
Okay. So about
Bungdo
that
just
bread,
kind of wiggles with excitement.
does anybody see this wiggling?
He does it stealthily.
He stealthily wiggles. Imagine like a dog trying to sit still but wagging its tail so fast its whole back end is just moving.
Well, Maya doesn't notice him stealthily wiggling, but everybody else does.
How tall is this
How
guy's
is
house?
it not my passive? Gosh. Not actively seeking to look at him wiggling.
In
Should be
Gnomish,
my
in
passive.
Gnomish, I look to Bungdo and say, "What do you know that we don't?"
I wiggle in gnomish.
I have the most perplexed look on my face. I've never seen somebody emote in Gnomish, and I'm perplexed yet amused.
In gnomish, I just say back, "You don't know." But honestly, I'm not going to share that he's a druid, because if he didn't tell you guys, that means he wants to keep it a secret. And I have to respect the other druids.
I kind of look at Bungdo kind of questioningly and just kind of shrug and say, "Huh? So about that bread."
Right. And he kind of leaves the door open, and you're able to like see into his house and stuff. It's kind of rooting around in one of the cupboards. Yeah, pretty. I mean, well made. Obviously, the guy has, or whoever built the house has a fair degree of skill and general like working and all the kind of construction based skills that you would need. It seems the place is very well built, well maintained. There are a number of carved figurine statuettes kind of things adorning the various surfaces in the home. And you smell this really pleasant, almost flowery, herbal kind of aroma coming from somewhere, possibly it's like a small, uh, almost like a censer, like something that you would use to burn incense.
Okay, so it's not like a
It's
black grass smell.
no, it's just
Okay.
this. It's like walking into old school Bath and Body Works kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just generally pleasant.
Huh.
And he comes back with 3 loaves of this kind of darkish but very hearty looking bread, and he kind of like distributes them to basically the 3 closest people. So that would probably be what, Togar, Maya, Bungdo.
I
Yeah.
think so. I offer some to Termilla, some of mine.
Okay.
And I
she-
gesture towards Trogdor to join us.
Out of character, does the roof of his house look like it could hold about half a ton?
Probably not.
Okay,
No,
never
you
mind.
cannot store your dragon on his roof.
It can't fly anyway, can it?
It
Oh,
cannot.
but in the
He's gonna
Fine Steed
throw
spell, no, I can cast anything I can cast on myself, and only typically myself. I can also cast on my steed at the same time, so I can Misty Step onto his roof.
Oh fuck! This is
Teleporting dragon.
this. So that's a
Anyways.
thing. Okay.
So
right.
he's not landing his dragon on his roof.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
And I'll take a bite of the bread as well.
Okay.
How I will too. How tasty is the
I mean, do you want the objective, how good it is, like finely made, or
What?
I want to know how finely made it is.
it's pretty damn good bread.
I'm a dwarf. I don't care about finely made. How does it taste?
Let's see. So,
I'll drink sewer water if it's alcoholic. I don't give a shit.
yeah, this is pretty good bread. Certainly better than average.
Okay. All right. Well, in between bites, I'll look at him and say, "Did you build this house? I noticed the structure of it is very, very well done."
And you see him now kind of munching on some bread himself. Says, well, yes, I did. Quite some time ago now, but maintenance myself.
Really? Wow. Did you have the help of magic to create this? This is very, very sturdy. Even. How long ago did you build it?
You see him kind of air mathing a little bit, the like writing numbers with his finger, trying to work it out. And he's like, oh, probably, I don't know. It's got to be almost 30 years now?
Wow. It's very well done.
How old does the farmer look?
He looks to be probably late 50s, maybe 60-ish.
What race did you say he was again?
Human.
Oh,
It's very well done, just like the bread. Very, very well tasty.
And he gives you kind of just subtle little nod of like, thank you.
By the way, I've been terribly rude. Togar Hammer Striker. Because I never actually, I attempted to, but I never did fully introduce myself.
Alright, and yeah, after he kind of like stuffs the last little bit of bread in his mouth, he holds out a hand. He's like, and I'm he like finishes chewing before actually saying it. Lorzarin. And
Lord Zarin.
might want that in chat.
I do.
Here you go.
I spelled it right anyway. Cool. Alright.
And I say, I am Mayumiko Callie.
And yeah, again, kind of like gentle nod of acknowledgement. Offers a handshake.
I offered the handshake first. You shook my hand.
Fine.
And that one out there, and I'll gesture towards Trogdor and say, that's Trogdor. He's harmless, but a little eccentric.
And yeah, Lazara just looks over again at the dragon, and then at Trogdor, and then over to Togar and says, "Really?"
Yeah,
Just
never would have guessed. Right?
He's just like up there waving at him. Like it's no big deal that the dragon here.
At this point, I'm gonna break a chunk of bread off, cast Mage Hand, and carry it over and give it to Trogdor.
Okay.
Just have my Mage Hand just carry it over and just hand it to him.
I'm gonna take a bite of it. I'm gonna try and play it off like I think it's good.
Take a nice water.
And then when no one's looking, I'm gonna spit it out the other side of the dragon.
Yeah, like this must be some of that healthy bread. You know, it's still got some you know, grains and stuff in it. You're more of a white bread kind of guy.
Oh, this is like whole wheat bread.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
I like this.
I mean, it's from wheat.
Okay, yeah. And so after I do that, I turn back to him. This is quite good. Around when would the rest of your crops be ready?
Kind of looks around, sort of taking inventory of everything that he has. Well, harvest is probably in a month or so.
Okay, I may come by and grab some potatoes and carrots and stuff for a stew. I kind of want to try a beef stew out of these vegetables.
And yeah, his face kind of lights up and says, "Oh, they make wonderful stew. You should come by. I can make you some sometime."
Sounds good. I'll have to have you show me around the house too, because, as I said, it's amazing that this looks as clean and as sturdy as it does. You know, after 30 years, for wood at least, because, yeah.
I'm sure this is an odd question, but is there any chance you would be able to grow starfruit this big?
At this point,
Alright, I'm back.
yeah, just at this point, Trogdor's ears perk up. Non-existent ears.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. My non-existent ears perk up.
He says, "I'm not really familiar with starfruit, but
I'd reach into the bag of holding and pull out a starfruit.
okay." He takes it and looks it over and I mean, it could try.
Ooh, could you?
Yes, that would be if it turns out half as juicy and delicious as this bread. Then I'm sure Trogdor will be very, very pleased.
I'll pay you for it in advance.
Oh, Trogdor! So glad you could join us up here.
I'm
And I
still
reach
up
in
on
my bag and hand him a starfruit.
I'm still up on my dragon. You're gonna have to toss it up to me.
Oh, okay. So you're just yelling.
Well, I figure I'm only like 10 feet away, 10, 15
Oh,
feet.
are you? Oh, is he? Oh, I thought
Yeah,
you were
it doesn't
like.
have to be that far.
Oh, okay. I thought you were off like about 50 feet away or something.
No.
Oh, okay. Then I'll mage hand it up to him.
Okay.
I shake my head at all the magic going around.
All right. Yeah, and so Zarin just kind of, again, kind of eyeing the starfruit. Takes it. See him kind of like set it on a table side, and it's well, certainly a pleasure meeting you. Is there anything else I could do for you?
We were trying to find a place to stay. That's an inn across the road, right?
Yeah, and he looks over. So it's yeah, probably the only one for miles. So probably your best bet.
Okay. Are they using any of your crops for their food?
Well, they may still be using some of the bread. Beyond that, nothing's really in season right now, but they are one of my larger buyers.
Good to know. And I'll reach in my pack, or in my bag rather, and grab 2 gold pieces out and offer them to him and say, "This for the bread."
And I'll pass him 2 more starfruit in case he wants to try it.
We're just handing our shit away to him.
Some damn good bread, all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna climb down off the steed and then hand the guy a little bag of 11 gold. Say this is in advance if you do to decide to make starfruit as one of your crops.
I give Trogdor the evil eye for one-upping me.
Trogdor loves starfruit. Gotta spread that love.
All right. Yeah, with all the stuff that he's being handed, he's just like, well, I'll certainly work on the starfruit thing.
Taking notes. Alright, with that, I will just say, well, I will, I'm gonna head over to the inn. I appreciate the great tasting bread, and I'm sure we'll return once we get back from Thogladar, to check in on how the starfruit is.
All right. Well, look forward to seeing you again.
And you as well. And I will walk down away from the front door.
In excitement, the future possible starfruit harvest, I misty step back up to the dragon. It's like
Okay.
you're in a cloud of fog. It's sitting on my dragon already.
All right. And
Yeah, I say thank you and turn around.
okay.
He gets an attack of opportunity.
Dun dun dun. No. Yeah, he kind of watches you go. Still, I mean, it was kind of a confusing encounter, really. Some random group of adventurers just came up and knocked on his door, and
I turn around and say, "By the way, we call ourselves the Starfruit Adventurers." And I kind of look to the rest of the group, see if there's any objections.
I just kind of shrug.
They have one of those thought clouds, bubbles above my head with starfruit in it.
Just giant starfruit.
Starfruit and Malaris.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger until all of a sudden the bubble pops and a giant starfruit falls and crushes you. Then you snap out of your dream. And we shall return probably pretty soon, and I will head out. Like, head towards the inn.
Okay. Yeah, so you make your way down the, beaten dirt path back toward the main road that sort of brought into the settlement, and across the street to looks like a reasonably modest roadside inn. Um, you see kind of engraved or kind of carved into the doors of the place rather than hanging from a sign. Um, looks like a picture of a large goose under which you see the name of the inn, Glistening Goose.
Okay.
Glistening geese.
Oh, just one. Glistening Goose. Yeah, so upon making your way in, you see a relatively empty kind of bar area. It's very, I don't know, for some reason this particular inn I'm picturing is very like Skyrim tavern-ish. There's like maybe one or two people sitting around, fire pit in the middle, and you just see like a single barkeeper slash waitress slash kind of everything, uh, kind of leaning behind the counter, seemingly with not a whole lot to do. Looks to be a best guess, probably mid-20s, half-elven.
Is there a bard?
There is a kind of stout-looking halfling bard. It's like a probably 50 or so years old, kind of receding hairline, but still trying to pull off a ponytail. He's kind of seated on like a footstool, and he's strumming away on a lute.
So, like that one picture in the book?
Sure, that one picture in the book.
I'll
That
find
book.
it.
You know the book.
I mean, I'm guessing she's referencing like PHB or something along those lines, but anyway. Yeah. So upon walking in, the half-elven waitress, bartender, whatever, immediately acknowledges you and kind of walks over. Welcome to the Glistening Goose. Is there anything I can get for you this evening?
We're going to be needing a number of rooms, and I could be using a number of ales as well.
Well, then you've come to the right place. Have a seat.
Okay, I will walk and sit up at the bar.
All right.
And looking at the selection, do they have the no, son of a bitch. Make me look. The beer I like.
Oh, the mead, Bjelkesson.
Yes.
Let's see. Not really. No, they've got a few kind of standard, more common brews. I mean, Bjelkesson is kind of a niche thing. But no, they've got some stuff from a few other brews from the Odd Oak, which is northern brewery. They're actually the ones who make Bjelkesson as well.
All right, I'll try another beer by them
Okay.
then.
All right. So, take a look. Let's see what they've got for you this evening. So, all right. So she comes back with, and what you just asked for something from the Odd Oak, or would you like to know
Yeah.
what they have?
No, I'll just say something from the Odd Oak.
Okay. All right. So she comes back with this considerably darker brew than Bjelke's you're used to, and she kind of tries to sound out the harsh northern name of this thing, and it's like, let's see, this is called Oddbjorg.
Oddbjorg? Kinye. Hey, thank you.
But yeah, this is a dark. Looks to be maybe like a or a stout or something of that general kind of nature. It almost seems visibly thicker than a lot of normal beers.
So it's like a syrup.
Ish.
And you said this is made by what brewing place?
Odd Oak.
Odd Oak, that's right. Okay. I will take a sip. How does it taste?
Shall we? It's
What was
actually
it?
pretty damn good.
Oh, okay.
Certainly bitter. You know, it doesn't have the same kind of sweetness and almost like, for lack of a better term, smoothness that Bjelkesen has. It's certainly a bit more harsh on the taste bud, but there's, as odd as the almost thick texture is, it's very like almost milkshakey.
Okay. I've actually had a beer that was milkshakey.
Yeah, like a milkshake stout kind of thing.
Yeah, I've had like a milk-centered stout before.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it was chocolate. Anyway, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, quite good.
Alright, I'll start drinking it. Looking content.
I ask for a different kind of ale than what he has.
Okay. Do you insist that it is from the same company, or do you just want kind of ale?
I see if she can find one from the same company.
Okay. And yeah, she kind of goes looking through the number of smallish kegs that they have kind of lined up and tapped. Let's see. She, yeah, she grabs another glass, seemingly having, and pours what looks to be a very almost orangish kind of ale. It's got a nice thick head to it, and she brings that over to you, Maya. And this one's pronounced Bodolf. That.
What's it taste like?
It's got almost a citrusy kind of flavor to it.
I like it.
Okay.
I'm quite happy. Thank you.
Of course.
By the way, what's on the menu for food-wise?
You broke up, but I'm guessing
Oh.
you said food.
Yeah, I said, what's on the menu for food-wise?
As you cut out again.
Did I? Really? I'm, like, right up at the mic. What's on the menu for food-wise?
Yeah.
And then I say, preferably something grown across the way there.
Locally.
Yes.
Locally sourced. Okay. Yeah, she kind of rattles off this stuff. It would seem that one of the farmers, kind of further back removed from the, has a pretty decent supply of fresh livestock. So they've got a chicken and herb kind of dish with a side of potatoes at the farm that you recently visited. There's a ham dinner with let's see, probably like green beans, such, kind of all spiced, sautéed together actually, and kind of like almost like a ham stir fry. It's kind of an interesting idea. Yeah, and then there's just classic like steak, and this one comes with like a baked potato kind of thing, and
There's no, like,
again,
beef stew or anything, right?
I feel like you have beef stew everywhere. Do you want beef stew?
I do. I'm like a beef stew connoisseur. That's like the traditional dwarven dish. Beef stew and the hardest liquor you can have. Well, and the closer we're getting, the more and more, like, homesick I'm getting, the more and more eager to get home.
Okay. Well, they don't have a beef stew per se, but they could probably put something together. Like maybe cut up a steak and add some gravy and other vegetables, and kind of improvise a stew if that's something that you really want.
Yeah. Yes. Let's do it.
Okay. All
I
right.
assume all bars have beef stew and beer.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody else?
I would like room.
No. Okay. So yeah. Nothing was.
I'll have whatever Togar's having. It
Okay.
looks weird, so I'll try it.
Okay.
Bungdo wants to know if they have cheesy fries.
I mean, they got potatoes. I'm sure they could come up with some oil somewhere. And cheese isn't unheard of. So again, it's something that they could probably throw together.
Yes.
All right.
This is what Bungdo wants.
What did you say, Becca?
That's my head you're running into.
Hey, Bungdo.
Ow!
I scooted up and
What
then
up?
I fell back. I'm sorry.
You should have them put some little ham chips on top.
Maybe if they have it.
They have ham.
Well, then I'll have ham chips on top.
All right.
It's an old dwarven tradition, putting ham on top of fries with some cheese curds.
Okay. So yeah. Frogger getting anything?
I'll just ask for some water.
Loser.
All right. So yeah, before too long, she comes back out with this improvised dinner of sorts. As far as the kind of makeshift stew, it's certainly interesting. I mean, it's not the greatest thing you've ever had. It's not terrible, but you know, you can certainly tell it's not really meant to be served the way it's.
I like it. It's good enough for me.
Okay.
I accept that.
And then as far as the cheesy guys, like the whole fry thing is kind of eluding them apparently, and so you essentially get like barely cooked, kind of oily potatoes.
Okay.
with
I
just
the
like
shit out of that.
with like just crumbled cheese on top of it. It's not really even melted. It's just kind of sitting there.
And a little bit of ham.
Yeah, like little tiny shreds of ham.
I mean, produce flame.
Yep.
I'm actually gonna do that. Hold produce flame over it to melt everything.
Okay.
Oh god, watch me catch the oil on fire.
You blacken the ham and... That sounds good. I kind of want to try that. Take like a torch to like a potato, or basically potato with ham and cheese on it, and just torch it. Sounds good.
Yeah, and so as Bungo is like holding the flame like kind of suspended over the food, you actually do see one dish kind of catch fire.
I blew it out.
Okay.
Resulting
Bungo,
in,
use water.
blowing potatoes on someone.
All right. So Bungdo kind of bent down to blow out the flame that has erupted on the plate, and simultaneously, you smell the odor of burning hair as a bit of his beard catches fire.
Oh.
And as he goes to blow out the flame, almost in kind of borderline napalm scenario, a few globs of flaming oil actually kind of splatter up out of the dish and onto the tabletop. And so now there are a couple of small spots on the table that are catching on.
I'm just going to take my gnarled dwarf hand and just kind of slam the, pat it out, essentially. At least what's on the table.
Okay.
Is there any saving throws being made in here? If so, anyone who's in 10 feet gets +3 to it.
Good to know.
Good
Just
to know.
casually asks that as people are burning the...
Everybody, the bar is burning down, and people are running around with their hair on fire. By the way, if anybody does a saving throw,
I'm just curious if
Well, I
this
don't-
failed save throw is what caused this.
Technically speaking, that last one was saving was a nat 1.
Oh,
Hence the burning beard and flying grease fire.
well, that's right.
But yeah, so let's see. Togar tries to pat it out, and you do manage to put out the like small spots that have caught on the wood tabletop, but you do in process sustain 4 points of fire damage.
Yep. I knew
Who
that.
does?
Me.
Okay.
I'm gonna lay on hands that 4 away.
Oh, okay. Well, I glare at Bungdo, now realizing that he has officially cost me over 10 hit points today.
Bungdo just giggles.
Well, do you look hurt?
I mean, I'm not looking the best. I'm 11 hit points down, so...
I'll heal those away too.
Okay, so you'll heal the total 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
While you guys are putting out the fires, I'm just going around healing.
So yes, Bungo with beard. Well, just having caught fire would be I should clarify. What would you like to do, Bungo?
And to be clear, I didn't catch fire.
Your beard is on fire.
Your
My
beard
beard
is
is?
in the early stages of.
Well, I pat the shit out of my beard.
Okay.
I mean, I
I would.
summon water, but someone used it for poison.
Water in a grease fire is not the best. Just saying.
Well, poison's not better?
I take out my vial of poison and dump it on. No, I'm kidding.
God.
Okay. So I would say Bungo is able to successfully put out the fire in his beard. The plate of oily, cheesy potatoes beginning to catch. The fire is slowly spreading across the pile of potatoes on the plate.
Oh my god. I don't know what to do. Do I see any water nearby?
Do you have prestidigitation or control flames?
Can I use Mage Hand to try to pat it
don't.
out?
Yeah, you could try that.
Okay, I will attempt that.
Okay, and to clarify, you're the hand, right?
What was that?
You're making the hand corporeal.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna make it. Yes, but I'm gonna turn off feeling, so I'm not feeling burning on my hand as I'm.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you're able to kind of just bring the hand down, or just kind of almost swat out the flame,
Yeah.
and it's contained enough that you don't like splash extra grease or anything anywhere. The flame does go out.
Okay.
Oh, thank God. I was not in control of that situation.
I have contingency plans in order, Phil. Don't worry.
Anti-Bungdo.
Basically.
Indeed.
My dragon's outside, by the way.
Okay.
I eat what's left of the potatoes.
Okay. A number of them are
Eating,
considerably better cooked now.
Right? In the end, it worked out for the better.
Okay. So as you finish this surprisingly, what's next?
I order another beer after that.
All right.
And eat that star you gave me earlier.
Okay. I look at Termilla. Do you want anything?
In the meantime, you see that she's actually been brought a plate of the chicken dish that was described earlier. Actually, looked quite good. She just says, "Oh, I'm fine." Starts digging in.
Oh, okay. All right, and I look down at the bar and look over and kind of do a quick head count. How many rooms are we gonna need? We're gonna need.
That depends on who.
So I'm assuming Maya and Termilla could probably share.
And Bungdo, obviously.
Bungdo can share with me. Trogdor, what do you want to do?
I'd share a room with Cax.
Okay.
At which point, Blackbriar chimes in. Yes, I didn't want to sleep with any of you anyway, so I'll be getting my own.
So it's total of 4 then.
Curious, Eric. What are the limitations on making magical items? I mean, obviously, it'd take a long time to do, but
Yeah.
It really is.
I guess it's. Yeah, it depends on what you mean by the limitation doing them. Like, are you asking like what effects you'd be able to instill in an item or something to that effect, or?
A little bit of that. A little bit of like, can players actually make magical items, or is that something that's like
You
given by the
can.
DM just whenever?
No, if you're
Yeah,
magical.
essentially it's one of those things that's fast for, like in the DMG or anything like that. But I would say it's certainly feasible.
You're cutting out really bad. Okay.
But it's there aren't hard and fast rules for it, but it's reasonable to say that you could do it. So yeah, I mean, it would be something that we about, figure out how long it would take to do whatever it is you're looking to do.
Okay. We can talk later about it then. I have an idea.
All right. Anything else before getting to bed?
Gonna ask Togar for some more star fruit.
I will give him one more and say you don't want to have a stomach ache.
Well, I need some for the night and morning for me and Gex.
I'll give him another one and say, make sure Kex gets one, or Cox, because you told me it was Cox.
Oh, I meant
Maybe.
it was Gex.
Oh, you say it's Kex now?
Yep.
Okay, make sure Kex gets one then.
Okay. So yeah, bedtime.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Sorry, Becca, I didn't hear what you said.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah.
Tormilla didn't mind staying with Maya, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't really an issue.
Okay.
Good. I didn't mind staying with her.
Good.
Good. She didn't mind staying with you either.
Okay. And so let's see. You're getting that would come up to a 2 gold party.
You said 2 gold?
Yeah, for every.
As Blackbriar was kind of a dick, I'm gonna pay for everybody's but Blackbriar.
Okay.
So, and I'll just look at him and say, "Oh, my liege, it appears my coin purse is empty. I unfortunately can't afford yours." And I was trying to hide my coin purse.
Okay, yeah, it seems as though he believes you. Just peasants.
I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
liege. Sarcastically, of course.
Oh yeah, of course. He has no idea, but yeah. And so he kind of rifles the coin purse and pulls out the money for his. Yeah. So you're all paid up.
So how much was it without his room?
Without his room, that would have been 5 silver.
It would have been what?
1 gold, 5 silver.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. Sweet. Alright, I paid.
All right. So yes, you all have keys. Kind of adjoin the central area. Able to go sleep. Have nice rest. Again, nothing really eventful happens. So you all wake up well rested the next day, having regenerated any missing hit points you may have. Yeah. Plan.
Continue on. I guess same thing. Only this time not as rough.
Okay.
Did your steed just stand outside all night, Brown?
Yeah. Doesn't need to
Anybody-
eat or anything.
Anybody walking down the road just sees this platinum dragon standing in the middle of the path.
Yep.
Oh boy.
He just watches guard all night.
I'm not worried about him. I'm more worried about other people having heart attacks walking down the road seeing a dragon. We'll get to that. I'm guessing. But okay. Well, yeah, I'll go down, just grab a small bite to eat, and take a step outside and just kind of stretch and enjoy like the morning air.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do before taking off?
No.
All right. So you embark once again, road headed east, and pretty uneventful travel. But are able to travel for 6 hours on Rhino back. That if was choosing.
You're cutting out really, really bad.
It's also
Fuck.
echoing from you, Phil.
How?
Just slightly. I don't know, but your thing's lighting up when he finishes talking.
Yeah, but it's not
Testing.
giving audio for it.
I'm gonna keep talking. Just let me know if it's fucking up at all. How's it doing? La la la.
It
It
cut
was
out
fine
towards
at
the end,
the
but
end.
it was good. Yeah, it's not too bad now.
Okay, I'm like eating my mic.
Good. That's pretty much how I have to do it now too.
I have to project more. Oh.
Indeed.
In a world.
Oh.
Are we coming in for landing there?
Hot.
Yes, we are. In the 1900 flight.
All right.
That or it's like
So
a bad fast food order area place.
yeah. Okay. So, Bungdo's a rhino. Yes.
Indeed.
All right.
Can I like pick the color of the rhino that I am?
You have black or white.
Or gray.
No, there's black.
I can't
rhinos
be
or
like
white rhinos.
blue.
This is a fantasy
Interesting
game.
question.
I'm just curious, like, like technically the color of rhino does not change its, stats. It's just a different color.
It should be a bright green rhino.
You need prestigious whatever.
Prestidigitation.
Yeah.
If I level up, I'll get it.
I would say, sure, you can be whatever color your heart desires.
I'm a fucking neon pink one.
Yes! You just hear, and a bright pink rhino just pops up where Bungdo is standing.
All right.
I eagerly climb on board.
Yeah, so the dwarves are traveling in style today.
Yep. And I'll help her up again. And I will,
Okay.
like, straighten up my Santa hat and make it look presentable.
Okay.
I also have my fez on.
Oh, of course.
I gave it to Togar before I transformed, and
and of course I put it
he
back on.
kindly set it on my head.
Yep. I even attached a little rope to it to tie, like, kind of underneath so it won't fall off.
All right, so you've got this like combination Fez party hat thing going on.
Yes.
I put the pink jester hat with bells on Gex.
He's just giving you this look like, really?
Oh, fine. I take it off and put it on Steed.
The steed gives you the look like, really?
It
brought
just
you
sort of
with-
rolls its eyes. I mean, it's obedient to a fault, but it just kind of looks sort of humiliated. But certainly, if this is what the master wants, this is what the master gets, kind of thing.
Oh, you look stunning.
I will make an invisible mage hand and just push it, just fucking slap it off. Just, well, yeah, I'm just gonna, looking around, just kind of casually mage hand and just smack it off the dragon.
All right, and there's this like ting 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 as the bells jingle as it hits the ground.
Oh, Trogdor, it looks like that doesn't quite fit your dragon friend. Maybe you should put it on. Here, let me pick it up for you, and I will make my mage hand visible and pick it up and hand it to Trogdor.
Just like glaring at him.
You don't know. You have no idea I did this. To you, it just looks like I summoned mage hand, picked it up, and handed it to you.
You said you smacked it off.
But my mage hand was invisible. I can make it visible or invisible, depending.
I would say, well, let's see. I can just roll it behind the scenes.
Yeah. Sleight of hand.
Yeah. Go ahead. I would call that a sleight of hand with advantage because it's invisible.
Okay.
Yeah, Trogdor doesn't really know that it was Togar.
Thankfully, the advantage helped. Because the one was a nat 1.
I guess I'll just take it and put it back on the mount.
I just kind of shrug and mentally try to tell the mount I tried.
Okay. So, you continue on for the majority of the day. Pretty uneventful. You're just on this sort of woodside path at this point. Really not much to speak of. You're just walking along the edge of the woods to your right. The massive, expansive plains of central Acuria off spanning to your left. And toward the end of the day, you can see in the distance you see two things. Straight ahead, probably not more than another 5 hours walk, you can see what looks like a mid-sized village, sort of, built so as to fall kind of just barely outside the woods. Anyone with experience on this continent would be Caimore.
Oh! We approached Caimore. Okay, cool. Or we're approaching. About 5 hours out.
Yeah. Probably, another half travel day or something. Certainly traveling with the slower members of the party on some sort of steed has helped your progress quite a bit.
So if we were to just travel on to Caimore, is that how long is that of traveling?
You'd be looking at like a 12-hour travel day, and people would start having to make constitution checks to not get exhausted.
Were we learning Gnomish?
Sure. Anytime I'm not walking, I will teach Gnomish.
Okay.
But if I'm walking, I'm just at that point, I'm just concentrating on keeping up.
Okay, so that's another 6 hours.
Yay.
But also, in addition to the uh, village of Caimore, kind of nestled against the woods, off in the distance to the northeast, you can just barely make out the outline of a very an extremely large settlement. And again, anyone familiar with the area, you'd know this to be the capital city of Ramsgate, and you can see the massive walls that encircle the city, just beginning to kind of peek up over the horizon as you're traveling.
And here's a question for you: if we were to switch off who is riding and who is walking, as in like Bungdo and Maya ride the dragon, and the rest of us walk, could we do it without exhaustion? Because the rest of us haven't done anything. We just kind of rode all day.
Mm, yeah, I mean, the mount. I'd have to look that up because it might be able to be exhausted.
My steed?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to eat or sleep or anything. It doesn't say anything about that. Just it goes down to 0 hit points if it's attacked.
Yeah, it doesn't say whether it does or not, but
It has the stats of whatever dried.
I know
Rebel-
most other magical mounts don't. They will not tire. It's usually just they expire, like the enchantment expires or whatever. But I'm not sure how this one works.
It doesn't expire unless it's taken down to 0 hit points or I dismiss it. Summon a new mount.
Yeah, it does say it's unusually intelligent, strong, and loyal. So, I would say you probably couldn't go on endlessly. But it's probably possible to make the rest of the trip. And probably very little beyond that.
Alright.
So, yeah. That's the plan then?
That's what everyone else.
Yeah, I suggest this as
Yeah.
we're going that, hey, we should try to make it to Caimore, and Maya should switch off with Trogdor and ride, and those of us and possibly have Bungdo ride as well, and those of us who've been riding all day can walk, and we should be able to make it.
How late is it in the day?
At the point you're switching, or by the time you would be getting to Caimore?
Both.
You're switching 6 hours into the walk. So that would be, probably in the 3 to 4 in the afternoon kind of area.
Okay. And how much farther is it?
It's another, if you had to guess, probably maybe 5 hours.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Okay.
All right. So yeah, it takes better part of 5 hours to get to Caimore, and as you kind of approach along the winding side road that leads you there, long before you get to the village proper, you begin to see these. Looks like a number of almost like altars or things, some sort of memorial. I'd like everybody to go ahead and make a history check.
Also, I found out it follows at least according to what I've seen, the steed follows every other magical, like, mount, where it won't get tired.
Okay.
That's been, like, the most...
Can only make. Oh. You gonna finish?
Oh, yeah. I was just saying it's just been the most, like, agreed upon thing.
Okay.
I can only make bad rolls today.
Wait, what is that 3 check for?
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know yet.
Oh,
I don't know either. So
Okay, well, Trogdor don't get. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say Trogdor don't give a fuck. All right. So once again, everyone but Maya, which is strange given that Trogdor is not even from this continent. Uh, you remember hearing that among all the settlements of the kingdom of Akarant, Caimore has by far the largest graveyard and just collection of memorials and tombs and such. Um, and you're walking through what's essentially a probably 2 to 3 mile stretch of just buried dead as you make your way into town. There are all sorts of memorials and things around. Looks like kind of your standard cairns of like just piled rocks and things, the remains of the dead, or burial mounds. There are a few, kind of classical headstones of that nature, as well as just primitively carved and crafted statues. Um, different depictions of perhaps what these people might have been in their time on Astion.
we're still on the road, right? We're not like walking through the middle of a cemetery.
You're on the road, but stretching out almost as far as the eye can see on either side away from the road, and for a good 2 to 3 miles approaching Caimore, it's just graves.
Oh, okay.
does any of it look particularly ominous?
I mean, you're walking through the biggest graveyard you've ever seen. There's got to be some ominousness to it, I suppose.
I am surrounded by rocks. I am okay.
I guess just at random points, I'm gonna divine sense while we're walking. I'll do it. I can do it 4 times, so I guess whenever you feel like you should do it.
Okay. I mean, for the sake of brevity, I would say you're pretty consistently staying on top of it. Not letting things lapse for more than a minute or two before, kind of recasting or whatever. But yeah, you don't sense anything out of the ordinary. It's just from the standpoint of being really any kind of mortal entity, it's just generally disconcerting being surrounded by this much death.
All right.
But yeah, by we 8, maybe 8:30, as dusk is kind of starting to settle in and slight mist is settling over Caimore, you make your way into town, and yeah, it seems more or less like your average village. There look to be a number of businesses that have kind of closed up, at least for the evening. Um, you hear kind of the dull roar of music emanating from being in sort of the downtown portion, so to speak, of the village. All right. I should probably call it for this evening anyway, because I got to go back and talk to people and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, you guys have made it to Caimore, and well, we'll see what happens next time.
Level up.
Probably not.
Aw.
That would be pretty high for how much we've gotten done.
But yeah, so I'm gonna duck out. Taylor, I know you're like shit or whatever, but Okay. Good session, guys. And I mean, if you guys want to talk or something later, I can probably make that happen. Or just, throughout the week or whatever, in case of like Phil, who's not playing tomorrow.
I won't be able to get on till 9 tomorrow. So,
Rip.
Yeah,
however you want to do that.
yeah, I'll let you guys figure that out because I can do whenever. Just you guys talk amongst yourselves. I gotta get going. I will see you guys.
Alright, I'll see it.
Have fun.
I'm fine with that. Just, yeah, Taylor.
Yeah. Have to wait for him.
Becca can't be on tomorrow until 9. So it's pretty much up to you when the session starts or ends.
I mean, I would want to go to bed too. I mean, I've worked on Monday, so. I mean, I have work tomorrow too, which is why I won't be able to get on till 9.
Do you know how busy Eric's going to be throughout the day tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't think he has anything to do.
What about church in the morning?
Oh, well, church, yeah. Besides church. I'm going to Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania's a pretty nice place.
Well, I'm going for work, so it's not like I'll be able to see it. Are you gonna buy a mushroom necklace at the Runfest? Yeah. So I can talk in Discord about my ETA. So hopefully I should be all set by 9.
Are you driving out there or flying?
Driving.
Oh,
So that would be a really short flight. So
that's like a 6-hour drive one way.
5.
5? Yeah.
Yeah. Or on the near side of Pittsburgh. So.
Is that little part that pokes up between New York and Ohio?
No, it's on the side.
Near Ohio? Or is it on the other side?
Near Ohio. Philadelphia's on the other side.
Oh, okay. That little part that pokes up between New York and Ohio is the only part I've driven through.